In the heart of a sun-drenched savannah, there was a village where the red earth kissed the endless sky. This was the home of Kanu, a boy whose smile was as bright as the African sun and whose curiosity was as boundless as the plains. The village was a tapestry of life, woven with the laughter of children playing among the baobab trees and the rhythmic beats of drums that told tales of old. Kanu, with his keen eyes and nimble feet, weaved through the village, greeting the elders who sat under the shade, sharing stories of days when the earth was young. Women, adorned in vibrant fabrics that danced with the wind, balanced baskets of fruit atop their heads, their hands skilled in the art of trade and barter. The air was rich with the aroma of cooking fires, where meals were prepared with the bounty of the land. Men returned from the fields, their foreheads glistening with the day's toil, yet their spirits undimmed by the sun's relentless gaze. They spoke of the harvest, of the rains that had been generous this season, and of the ancestors who watched over them. In this village, every hut was a home, and every face was a story. Kanu knew them all, but he yearned for a story of his own, a tale that would be told around fires for generations to come. As the day gave way to the cool embrace of evening, the village gathered to hear the king's announcement, a call that would set Kanu on a path of adventure and discovery. The king, with a presence as commanding as the mighty tree under which he stood, boomed, "People of the land, I seek an object of true magic. Whoever presents such a wonder will receive their heart's desire." Kanu felt a stir in his spirit. He had no riches or status, but he had courage and a mind sharp as a spear's tip. As the villagers dispersed, whispering of the challenge, Kanu's resolve hardened like clay in the sun. He would find this magic, not for gold or glory, but for the thrill of a quest that called to his soul. Under the cloak of night, Kanu ventured to the market, where the air was thick with the scent of spices and the murmur of late traders. A merchant, cloaked in mystery as much as in fabric, caught Kanu's eye. "Young seeker," he called, "I have what you desire." From the depths of his robes, he produced a cloak, as sheer as a spider's silk and as light as a whisper. "This cloak," the merchant said, "will reveal the world's true colors." Skeptical yet intrigued, Kanu exchanged a token of trust for the garment and slipped into the shadows to test its power. With the cloak draped over his shoulders, Kanu watched the world transform. The marketplace, once a palette of earthen tones, now burst with auras of every shade. He saw the warm gold of honest toil, the soft blue of kindness, and, to his dismay, the creeping green of envy and greed. It wasn't long before Kanu noticed the king's advisor, a man of sharp eyes and sharper ambition, whose aura glowed with a dangerous red. The advisor approached Kanu, eyes fixed on the cloak, unaware of its revealing nature. "Such a trifle," he sneered, "will not win you the king's favor." Kanu, with the wisdom of the cloak, saw through the advisor's facade. He followed the man to a hidden chamber where plans were laid bare, a scheme to usurp the throne. With the cloak as his ally, Kanu gathered evidence of the treachery and, as dawn broke, presented his findings to the king. The king, shocked and grateful, offered Kanu a reward as grand as the kingdom itself. But Kanu, with a heart as vast as the plains, asked instead for a boon that would serve all, a well to bring water to the driest corners of the village. The village rejoiced, not just for the water that would sustain them but for the boy who had grown into a hero before their eyes. Kanu, with the invisible cloak now a symbol of his journey, knew that the greatest adventures lay not in the magic of objects, but in the strength of the human spirit. And so, Kanu's tale was woven into the fabric of the village's history, a story to remind all that the truest magic is found in acts of bravery, kindness, and the unyielding pursuit of what is right. Yet, as the celebrations died down and the night reclaimed its silence, Kanu's heart stirred once more. The cloak had shown him much, but he felt the pull of the unknown, the call of uncharted paths that beckoned him to explore. As the first light of dawn crept over the horizon, Kanu stood at the edge of the village, the invisible cloak wrapped around him like a mantle of possibilities. With a final glance back at the sleeping huts, he stepped forward into the embrace of adventure, his story far from over, his legend just beginning. As the first light of dawn painted the savannah in hues of gold and amber, Kanu stood at the edge of his village, the invisible cloak wrapped around his shoulders. The whispers of the wind seemed to beckon him, urging him to follow the call of the unknown. With each step, he felt the pulse of the earth beneath his feet, a rhythm that spoke of mysteries yet to be uncovered. Kanu ventured into the whispering plains, where the grass danced with the secrets of the world. He encountered a caravan of traders, their camels adorned with colorful tassels and bells. The traders spoke of a city beyond the desert, a place where the buildings touched the sky and the streets buzzed with 1,000 tales. Kanu's heart leapt at the thought. Could there be a place where magic and wonder were woven into the very fabric of life? The desert was a sea of sand and heat, a test of will and endurance. Kanu, guided by the stars and the cloak's subtle glow, navigated the dunes. At night, the desert came alive with the songs of the ancients, carried by the wind. It was here, under the blanket of the cosmos, that Kanu met an old hermit who spoke of a hidden oasis, where a tree bore fruit that could heal any ailment. After days of travel, Kanu found the oasis, a haven of green in the heart of the barren. The tree stood at its center, its branches heavy with luminescent fruit. But as Kanu reached out, the tree spoke, its voice a melody that resonated with the soul. Only those who seek to heal others may taste the fruit of life, it sang. Kanu thought of his village, of the sick and the weary, and he knew what he had to do. With the fruit secured in his pouch, Kanu turned homeward. The journey back was long, and the cloak, once invisible, now shimmered with a light that seemed to guide him through the darkest nights. When he finally returned, the village was struck by a mysterious illness, and Kanu's heart sank. Had he returned too late? Kanu offered the fruit to the ailing, and to everyone's astonishment, they began to recover. The village healer, a wise woman with eyes like the evening star, watched Kanu with a knowing smile. "You have brought back more than just the fruit, young one," she said. "You have brought hope." As the village celebrated its newfound health, Kanu realized that the cloak had not only shown him the world's true colors but had also led him to find the courage within himself. It was not the cloak that held the magic, it was the boy who wore it. And with that knowledge, Kanu knew his adventures were far from over. As the village healed and thrived, Kanu stood atop a hill, gazing at the horizon where the earth kissed the sky. The cloak, now a tapestry of colors visible to all, fluttered in the gentle breeze. It had been his companion through trials and triumphs, a silent guardian that had guided him to truths both beautiful and harsh. The villagers gathered around him, their eyes filled with gratitude and wonder. "You have brought us back from the brink," they said. "You have shown us that magic is real and lives within each of us." Kanu smiled, his heart full. "This cloak," he began, "is but a cloth. It was not the cloak that saved us. It was our unity, our strength, and our willingness to face the darkness together." The king approached, his step slow and measured. "Kanu, you have shown wisdom beyond your years," he said. "You have earned your place among the legends of our people." As the sun set, casting long shadows over the land, Kanu took off the cloak and laid it at the foot of the baobab tree. "Let this cloak be a reminder," he declared, "that the greatest power we hold is the power to change our world for the better." The villagers cheered, their voices rising to the heavens. They danced and sang, their spirits as bright as the stars that began to twinkle above. Kanu joined them, his journey complete, his story etched into the heart of the village. And as the night embraced the land, the cloak under the baobab tree shimmered one last time before turning as invisible as the wind. But its legacy would live on forever, in the tales told by the fireside, in the laughter of children, and in the courage of those who dare to dream. And so, the story of Kanu and the invisible cloak was passed down through generations, a tale of adventure, wisdom, and the magic that resides in every act of kindness. For in the end, It was not the cloak that was extraordinary, but the boy who chose to see the world not as it was, but as it could be. And with that, Kanu's tale comes to a pause, leaving room for new stories to blossom from the seeds of his legacy. The end.